Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Belief Cast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester, the host of the Belief Cast. Thank you for tuning in. I'd like to give a thanks to my sponsors. I really appreciate all of you. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do this, so thank you so much. And again, thank you for tuning in. It really does mean the world to me. We've had some amazing people on lately. I mean, they're all amazing, but man, lately it feels like we got some bangers, as you guys would say, out there. And today's going to be no different, man. I'm so excited for you guys to meet Jeffrey Mann. Jeff, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Do you go by Jeff or Jeffrey?
Jeff's fine.
Okay. Jeffrey's more the official name, but so I'm joined with Jeff, like as I just said. He's a PR strategist who has built a remarkable career by redefining how we connect in high-performance environments. Jeff has mastered the art of balancing ambition with authenticity, helping brands and individuals create lasting, high-impact relationships. His belief that trust and vulnerability are not weaknesses, but superpowers, has shaped how he leads and how he builds and how he serves. With a career rooted in faith, self-discovery, and powerful connections, Jeff has worked with some of the most influential brands and voices of our time. Get ready to learn how relationships built the right way can change everything. I'm so excited to get into this. This is going to be amazing. Jeff reached out to me a few months ago, and I've been following him ever since. You guys are going to love just the way this guy carries himself. He shows up every day with his heart on his sleeve. He's a man of faith. He loves helping people, and he's making a difference in this world. So thanks, Jeff, for being here.
Thank you for the introduction.
You bet. You betcha. So why don't we start off? I mean, there's a lot of good things you're doing. We'll get to that. But tell us, maybe where you grew up and a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah, I actually have an interesting story.
Yeah.
A lot different than most. So I was born in Maryland, adopted at 3 weeks to Boise, Idaho. It was a unique experience because Idaho at the time was predominantly white. And so my parents had 4 kids, raised them, and they went through the process of, how can we adopt an African-American kid? And it's actually interesting. I have a twin brother who's 3 hours younger than me. Okay. But he was adopted from Atlanta. So born the same day, 3 hours apart, separate moms, separate states. And so the adoption agency actually liked that because, hey, here's 2 brothers that can grow up together that look the same and everything.
Yeah.
From there, when I was 7, my dad had been retired and wanted to do humanitarian work. And so he said, hey, we're going to move to Zimbabwe, southern part of Africa, and work with doctors on AIDS prevention work and stuff. So moved to Zimbabwe for 2 years.
Okay.
Moved back, continued through middle school and everything. And then my 8th grade year, he was called an LDS mission president.
Okay.
So he moved to South Africa for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
I lived in the mission home there, went to school. And that was a whole different experience because here I was, an African-American, going to a country where most people look like me, but I can't speak their language. I don't understand the culture. It was the old all-boys school, uniforms. They could still beat you at school. And so it was a different dynamic going from Boise, Idaho to South Africa. And so dealt with that dynamic, moved back, graduated high school, went to a high school where I was the first black kid in school history, the only black kid in the school, out in a small town called Parma, Idaho. Graduating class, 75 people. And then came and did a semester at Utah Valley in Utah, and then went on my LDS mission to Ghana, West Africa, so back to Africa. And so I've lived in Africa for 7 years of my life. They're starting to fade, but I used to be able to speak about 6 African languages, and came back, finished school, and I've been in Utah ever since.
Wow. What a journey, right? Yeah. Well, so there's a lot there that so many questions. So, one of the things I want to ask you, because I work with a lot of clients who, struggle with addictions, mental health issues, and a lot of them, adoption was a really tough thing for them.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. I'd love to.
Obviously you're adopted, and you mentioned that. How was that? Was that a challenging thing for you, especially when you're African American and you're adopted by a white family? Talk about how you handled that.
Yeah,
I guess.
I was in a special place because my parents made it a point to put us around other minority kids in the community.
Okay.
My mom showed up to the school and did different things for Black History Month and Martin Luther King Day.
Really?
And she pushed a lot of stuff. And so they did a good job of teaching us the history and trying to involve us. It was interesting. One of the things, and most people know this, as an African American kid, finding the right place to get a haircut is a huge game changer.
Really?
And so I remember my brother, we went to like a Fantastic Sam's, Great Clips, and she shaved about half his head and just started crying. And she's like, I just can't do this. And so I had a buddy whose his dad had played in the NFL. He was African American, and we connected with that family, and the dad took us to a barber shop and just introduced us to those little things. And so for me, it helped a ton.
Okay.
Be able to have him as a mentor, to be able to have my parents so involved, even moving us to Africa. I mean, we went from being the minority to the majority. I think the big thing, and I worked in an adoption camp for about 7 years.
Okay.
Denver, Colorado.
What is an adoption camp?
So they have different camps. So they have like a domestic one, kids who are adopted domestically.
Okay.
Kids that are adopted from Asia. Mine was the African Caribbean adoption camp. So kids adopted from Africa, African American kids. And so they had different ones based off different races of group of kids that was adopted. Yeah. And what happens in the course of that weekend, it's 3 days, the kids go to different classes. So they go to one like getting their hair braided, haircuts, a talk with a police officer, different things, while the parents have their own classes that they're going through, and they're being taught, here's how to deal with this, here's how to take this on, here's some tough questions that you may get asked. The part that I thought was interesting, and I met some families even in Salt Lake, is when you adopt a kid, you need to treat that kid like he's any other kid. Yeah. Because one of the things that I was seeing is there'd be parents who would, if they adopted a black kid, they thought, I need to find a school where the coach is black. I need to find a piano teacher where he's black. Okay. On the flip side, I would see there was a principal, nice man. And when this adopted kid would show up to school, the principal would make a point to come out and give the kid a hug every single morning and greet the kid. And I said, I get your intention, but the problem is now you're separating this kid from the rest of the group. Yep. Just treat him like any other student.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's this special kid. Other kids will resent it.
Exactly. Right? And now a nice act actually is making it worse and harder for the kid. Yeah. And so my biggest thing is we are who we're not, we'll never be. And so lean into that and just treat the kid like any other kid. Yeah. We don't need to see color while it's there, and the kids will experience it. And you do need to prepare them for stuff that they may face. Yeah. It's an interesting, it's a tough dynamic, and I applaud anyone who adopts and brings a new culture in. And I mean, I met one lady who adopted a kid from Ethiopia, and they found out later that the parents never put the kid up for adoption. He was taken. Ooh, and so now you have a kid that you've put into an American culture who no longer speaks the language. And I'm like, it's actually worse for you to go take that kid back because you supplant them into something they have no clue how it works. And so what this family ended up doing is they actually go and spend part of the year and they live with that kid's family in Africa. The parents from America go, they spend some time over there and still make it part, and then they come back. And so for me, adoption is huge. I see it a lot in Utah. Yeah. And so for me, it's also, if you're a kid who's adopted, look for mentors or someone you can reach out that can help you. If you're parents and you've adopted a kid, who's someone you can reach out to in the community that can help answer hard questions, that can put them in the right direction.
Yeah, mentors are powerful. I've heard that a really good mentor is more valuable than a 4-year degree. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You got a mentor that takes you under the wings and say, hey, I'm gonna walk you through all this, like even to the point, hey, I'm gonna find you the proper place to get a haircut.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, it may seem so small, but for a
Yeah.
kid, they get the right haircut at the right place. They look good, they feel good, and it just boosts how they feel.
You look good, by the way.
Thank you.
Your haircut looks great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's funny. I actually,
does. It
as soon as
looks
I
good.
got it done, bunch of the parents who adopted kids are like, who braided your hair? Who do I need to go see? Everything.
That's
and
cool.
so I'm always, sharing and posting and go
Yeah.
see this or see this person. This is the right person. And if I may, it was interesting.
Please, yeah.
If you remember a few years ago, we had everything that happened with George Floyd.
Yep.
And for me, it was a different dynamic because I had people reaching out to me. I hadn't talked to you in years. Hey, Jeff, if I ever said anything racist, I apologize.
I'm sorry,
this.
yeah.
But what I saw was there were people looking to me as, oh, this is a black voice. How is he going to react?
Yeah.
How is he going to respond to this?
Right.
And so that showed me that everything I do and say and post is being watched. And so I'm very careful, and it almost changed the way when I was younger going through college because I stopped going to parties. I stopped doing these things because I'm like, there are eyeballs on me,
There's people
and
watching,
I don't want to give off the wrong impression. And don't get me wrong, I've made my fair share of mistakes, and none of us are perfect, but I've tried to live an authentic life and tell people, this is what I believe, this is what I do. You can see it, you can experience it. And that's just how it is. And if you connect with me, amazing, let's talk. But if you don't, that's okay as well.
Yeah. You mentioned before we even got started that one of the things you've struggled with is some anger issues. Do you think that stems from, again, growing up in a white community, a different culture kind of thing? Do you think that fed some of that, or or did it come from something else?
I think so. The biggest thing that I've learned the past few years is our society teaches us anger is bad. But what I've learned is it's actually really good because what it's doing is it's telling you something is triggering you. It's telling you I need to work on something.
Okay.
So rather than looking at this is terrible and casting it off, I'm like, wait, why am I getting angry? Okay, here's the reason. Now what do I need to do to fix that? What do I need to do to change that behavior?
I love that.
And so shifting that mindset of a negative to what can I learn? What is the trigger? Now I can go work on it. And now, hey, guess what? I'm not getting angry in that situation anymore because I've understood the trigger and I know how to cope with it.
Wow.
And, and that's been a lot of personal development work. I've joined men coaching groups. I've worked with therapists, human behavior specialists, and really done everything. And, it's been beautiful and it's helped. But the biggest thing is the person that's going to solve the problem is me. I can pour all this money into a coach and everything. But if I'm not willing to do the work and look deep and be able to dive into stuff that is hard, it's not going to change.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I mean, it's probably fair to say we can call them your parents because they're your parents, right? That's probably how you call them. Is that all right?
Yeah.
So your parents, obviously great people. I mean, for one, they adopted. That says a lot about them.
Yeah.
And obviously it sounds like they taught you a lot of great lessons. They tried to, they would show up to school, talk about Black History Month and Martin Luther King. I mean, they really sounds like they went out of their way to make sure that you understood and felt heard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is a loaded question, I know. What are some of the biggest lessons they taught you as a child, like that you maybe, use at this time in your life?
I think the biggest lessons is everybody matters. My parents didn't go with the organization. They, on their own dime, went over to Africa and were willing to serve and to pour into people and help people that were struggling. And for me, that was a huge lesson at a young age to be able to see. I think the other thing is learn to give more than we take.
Okay.
A lot of times we're looking, how can I take? What can I get from this? But if we just look and see, how can I give? How can I pour into people? There's a different energy that comes from giving.
Yeah.
And I think the last thing would be is just be willing to embrace other cultures. I've been lucky enough, and one of the fun things to be with my dad is to be able to go see the wonders of the world. And so when I was 14, we went to Machu Picchu and hiked the Inca Trail up to that. Right before the pandemic, I surprised him for Father's Day, took him to see the Taj Mahal in India.
Really?
And one of the things that I love is when we were in India, when you book a tour, they take you to the tourist spots and go buy things and everything. And one day my dad said to the driver, just want to drive to a village. Just pick a village and you just want to go be amongst the people. We don't need to see the fancy tourist things and things. We just want to be amongst them. And so that's the beautiful things that my parents have, impressed on me, is just see the people, feel the people, be amongst the people. One thing that people know about me is I'm a man of God. I believe in my faith, and I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And one of the things that I learned and I love is reading in the Bible is Paul talks about, to the Jews I became a Jew, to the weak I became weak. When he preached in cities, he would refer to poets from that city. And so that's taught me that learn to be like the people that I'm trying to communicate with, whether it's a kid that's adopted, whether it's a client I'm trying to work with, whether it's just someone I meet at the gym. It's how can I relate and be to them so that I can reach them on their level.
I love that. Well, let's talk about your faith and why that means so much to you. Obviously, you wear it on your sleeve, which I really admire, and I respect that you don't back down from that. And a lot of your posts that you share are about your faith.
Yeah.
So talk about that, and why does that mean so much to you, and how does that help you through your, I guess your daily struggles?
It's interesting because I have this dynamic. Is I'm an African American in Utah. I'm an African American who's also LDS in Utah. Yeah. And so with that comes different dynamics and situations and things. Right. And so it's taught me that I'm not in a religion because of people. I'm in because of the doctrine. Because people, we can offend, we can say things. And I've learned that's why so many people turn away from different religions, or we get offended because we hear someone say something. Yeah. And I'm like, that's just a person. Yeah. They're going to make mistakes. Yeah. The natural man will always tempt them. And so for me, it's grounded in the teachings of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the readings that I have and the lessons that I can learn. And, for me, I'm not perfect. You get me on a basketball court, I'll swear here and there. I'll get into it. I'm competitive.
That's how I am on a golf course.
Yep. I'm one competitive son of a gun, but it helps me to have my value system that people know when I travel somewhere for business. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do those things, so they don't offer it to me. And that just keeps me grounded and in control of myself and my body and my mind. One of the things that I've seen, it's been so interesting, is it's big in Utah, is the use of plant medicine for therapy and growing and everything. And so for me, it's centered on, my relationship with God and being able to speak to him. And because so many of us are looking for these different outlets of, I need this to change my life. I need this. I need a substance. I need this. And for me, it's like God put us where we need to be, in the right place at the right time for a reason. What am I to learn from this? There's no shortcut or cheat code. We can find them, but in the end, it's not going to get us where we're meant to go. And so I lean into, my thoughts and my studying even of the universe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the law of polarity, but what it teaches is every negative has a positive, but every positive has a negative. And so I believe if I have a bad day, there's a good day coming. If someone's cheering me on, Jeff, you're amazing, there's someone also there that doesn't like me and talks down on me. And so it's a balancing act. And for me, I apply it to my life. I apply it to my faith, and understanding that they coexist. A rose is beautiful, but it also has thorns. The sun can give us warmth and light, but it also can burn us. And so it's just finding that balance.
Wow, I love that. You have one of your most recent posts went viral, and you're sharing your faith, and you're talking about Jesus being a carpenter. And there was a really powerful quote. You know the one I'm referring to, right? Yeah. Do you mind sharing that with our listeners who may have not seen this? But it really hit me and really touching.
It actually was interesting when I did that post. There was another guy in the gym who did a similar video, and he's based in New Jersey, looks identical to me. And I kept getting sent is this you? Is this you? And in fact, if you look at the post, he commented at the top, he said, oh, I thought that was me for a second. And we actually were messaging, we're going to do a collab together.
Oh, are you really? Cool.
And so
Awesome.
I said to my camera guy, I said, I want to redo this, but I want to do it my own way.
Yeah.
And so recreated the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, my faith is big to me. What is something that will resonate with people? Because I also want it to be something that people of different religions and faiths and wherever level you're at in your life could relate to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's see how this does and everything. Yeah. No thought on, hey, this is going to go viral or anything.
Yeah.
And it just took off.
Wow. Do you mind sharing the quote for our listeners on there? If I can pull it up too.
Yeah, if you could pull it up.
Yeah, sure.
See if I can find it.
It was so awesome. Let's see here. Where do I have you? Right here. Here it is. It says, "After all, he was just a carpenter's son. Did he smell the wood on the cross and think of home?" And there's a tear coming down your eye as you're lifting weights, showing this really difficult exercise kind of thing. But if you haven't seen it, you got to look it up because it really ties in so well together. But then also the words you wrote in the post were really profound.
Yeah. I think for me it was understanding humility, understanding that this is someone that is your brother, who understands everything we go through each and every day, who's already experienced it. Because so many times I think we take Jesus and God and we put him so far away from us. Yeah. And I always say that, and I've said this on several podcasts, is when I die, I want God to recognize my voice by the conversations I had with him here on earth. Because for me, I feel like
that's powerful. If
we can change it to, I'm talking to my brother, I'm talking to a father.
Yeah.
And it's just a casual conversation. Yeah. And rather than, you don't just go to your dad, I need. Thank you for this. Yeah. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm working on this. What ideas do you have? And just have conversations.
Yeah.
And when we can change that train of thought, there's a different relationship that you can establish.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've worked at adoption camp for 9 years. I coached high school sports for about 9 years.
Okay.
And so I knew I had a lot of youth and people looking to go on missions, kids who had come back from LDS missions, kids that were struggling with drugs and addiction and suicide. And so I was like, what is something that's relatable that can reach everybody?
Yeah.
And so that's just something I kind of put together and then posted it nonchalant, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Ever since. In fact, I think I'm gonna repost it again today.
Are you?
Right
on.
And it's been fun to me to create content that can reach different people.
Yeah.
That it's always fun. I'll be lifting at the gym, and because the way I look, I know people. There's a hesitation to approach me, and once they do, it's great to have conversations of, hey, this stuck out to you, or, where did this sit with you? And for me, it's just creating that time to willing to have a conversation.
Well, and to be honest, I think people, like, you're a big guy, big muscles. And, if I didn't know you and I saw you at the gym, I think a lot of people might, oh my gosh, he's got muscles. He might be one of those guys that doesn't want to talk. I'm white, he's black. Maybe that's going to be a problem. You don't know, right?
Yeah.
But then it keeps people from just coming to say something to you. But like, here we are. You're like one of the nicest guys I think I've talked to. Like you got this great, energy about you, but yet very calming at the same time.
Thank you.
And I think if people would approach you, they like you said, they're like, oh man, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we need to be more like that instead of, I think what happens is, we're judgmental before we're curious.
Yeah.
And I like that because if I'm judgmental, I won't maybe come talk to you because I judged you already. Well, he won't talk to me. He's a heavy weightlifter. He wouldn't even want to. Versus I'm curious, maybe I can come up to, hey, I love that lift you're doing. Why do you do it that way?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, let me show you.
No, exactly.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that guy's a really nice guy. I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors of the BeliefCast podcast. First, Craig from Craig Swap & Associates If you need an attorney, he's your guy. Trustworthy, compassionate, always there when you need him most. Next, Wasatch Recovery, the greatest university on the planet, transforming lives one day at a time. Sandy from Minky Couture, the creative genius behind the most comfortable blanket you'll ever wrap yourself in. Comfort like no other.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with you, because don't hesitate, because the one person you talk to at the gym, who knows how it could impact your life, your career, whatever you're doing next. I had an experience in college. I met a kid at the gym, and we got talking back and forth and ended up becoming friends. And his family was from Chicago, and I had never been.
Oh, okay.
And so they invited me out, went out to Chicago. It was beautiful. And we're there over the weekend, and he's like, hey, on Monday, we're going to go to a Chicago Bulls game. And I was like, fun, never been.
Yeah.
And we get there, and he's like, oh, we're going down to the court. And I'm like, okay. And it ended up being his uncle was the VP of marketing for Chicago Bulls. And at the time, I was majoring in public relations, minor in marketing. And I'm like, what an opportunity. So I reached out to the uncle. I said, hey, what's the chance this summer I could come either apply for an internship? And I flew in, and he gave me a tour of facilities, sat down and talked and just shared some different things.
Yeah.
But it was because I took an opportunity to talk to somebody at the gym. And that led to so many different great connections.
I love that.
And so for me, and I'm one of the worst people. I'll see someone, I can be quick to judge. And
I think that's, I hate to say it, but I think it's kind of human nature.
Yeah.
And then we got to catch that and go, no, I don't want to judge. I got to be better than that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And so it's learning to just, people are who they are, and willing just to have conversations and talk to people.
Well, it goes back to what we said in your intro. Vulnerability is a superpower.
Yeah.
Right? And you're really big on this. And it was a really vulnerable thing for you to do, to reach out to this person and say, hey, I'm looking for this. Would you be willing to help me?
Exactly.
Thing, right? That's how you find mentors too, right?
Yeah.
You get vulnerable and ask questions. So talk about, why is vulnerability a superpower?
I think it's because it puts you on an even playing field with everybody. So many times when you look at social media, we're all going to post the nice car, the fancy house, all of our wins and our accomplishments. And I'm like, if you would post your failures or your shortcomings, people can relate to that, and they might not make the same mistake you did by following your advice. They may not go down that same road and hit a dead end like you did. They may make a turn because they saw what you shared or what you posted or what you did. And so for me, it's scary, because we don't want to open that side of us to people. Yeah. We don't want to seem weak. We don't, especially as men in our society, we don't want to show emotions. We don't want to, we can't cry in front of people. Right. We can't. And I've learned that when you're vulnerable, you find the right people in your life that show up. I had an experience 2 months ago. I had a group of friends, and one of them called me about 2 hours away. He said, hey, we have a buddy who had been suicidal. And he's like, Jeff, I can't get a hold of him. We've tried.
That's
I called
scary.
him, couldn't get a hold of him. I live across the freeway from him, and my buddy was going to drive 2 hours. I said, no, let me just go check. So I drove over there and wasn't answering, and I had been to his house quite a bit, and I noticed I tried the door, and the door was unlocked. And I'm like, he never does this.
Right. And
so went in, his cars are in the garage, stepped out, called a buddy, said, hey, I don't want to do this alone. Come with me. We ended up calling the police to do a welfare check. Yeah. And the police basically shined their light, knocked, and they're like, it hasn't been long enough, so we can't enter. But the door's unlocked, you can go enter. And so me and my buddy went in, went upstairs, and we, TV was on. It was either TV or we're like, I hope we don't walk in these with a girl or something. Yeah, right. And so we back and forth. Finally, we opened the bedroom door, and the guy's laying on the bed, and we call his name, and sticks his head up, kind of looks at us, hi, and then goes back to sleep. And a little bit later, we found out that he had taken 100 pills earlier and had left his place unlocked for someone to come and find him. Right. Wow. So he texted me and said, hey, I shouldn't have my gun on me. So I went and picked up his firearms. But in that moment, it showed me that when you're vulnerable, people will reach out and trust you and form a relationship. And because of that, I was able to step in and help a friend in a time of need and everything.
Love that.
And so it's a superpower because it connects you to the right people, and it could be the right people that you may need at that time.
Yeah.
I had a rough patch the last few weeks, and I just got back from New Orleans 2 days ago.
Okay.
2 of my childhood best friends, and them middle school, high school, college, and they're my sounding board. So I knew, hey, these are the guys I can bounce what I'm thinking, what I'm going through off and everything. And it was a refreshing time just to reconnect with them, get back together, enjoy some great food. And those are guys I can be vulnerable with.
Sure.
And it's been interesting for me because I ran a pickup basketball group for 10 years now. And it started as a missionary tool for me. I've been blessed just about every year someone in the group's gotten baptized, which has been fun to see.
Sure, yeah.
But it's a group that I consider it to be family. I know when everyone's birthday, if people are moving, if someone has a baby or everything. But also there's quite a bit of guys in our group who are suicidal. And this is the one outlet that they can escape and have fun and be around people and everything. And so for me, I got back from a trip to DC at 2:00 in the morning, and we play at 6 a.m. And I told them I would be there and this, and as tired I was always going to show up because I knew people needed that outlet.
Right.
And just because I'm tired doesn't mean I deserve to take it away from them.
Sure,
as much as I would want to sleep.
Yeah, right.
To me, it's like the one day I skip, is that the day that they have a relapse? Is that a day that they decide to go a different route? And so it's allowed me to be able to, as I'm vulnerable, as they see me, as I show up for them, they become more vulnerable for me, and I'm able to step in and to help them. Wow. And I don't have all the money in the world, so I help where I can. I show up where I can.
Yeah.
But it's a superpower, and I also say it's a blessing and a curse, because when you commit to it, you have to also be ready that there's some heavy things that people may share with you.
Yeah.
And you may not have the answers. When I woke that buddy up, I connected him immediately the next day with the therapist I knew, because I said, I can be there for you as a friend, but I'm not qualified to step in and help you and understand this. And so we can show up as friends and we can serve each other, but we also have to understand that some stuff we can't take on alone, and we need to put them in touch with the right people.
Wow. That's awesome. Very well said.
Thank you.
I heard, I think it was from Brene Brown. She said, the amount of vulnerability we're willing to express will be equal to the amount of happiness we have in our life. So if vulnerability is up, happiness is up.
Yeah.
Vulnerability down, happiness is down.
Exactly.
Right? And I love how you said so well how vulnerability connects us. I mean, here you and I are sitting here. This is our first time meeting face to face, but I feel like I know you for a long time, because we're being vulnerable with each other, and you're sharing your heart with me, and I just feel connected to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I've known you my whole life.
And it brings down the walls so quickly, and then you can start to connect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But last few weeks I basically said, I went through and I said, hey, these are the people I consider as my friends.
Yeah.
And I basically said to them, here's what I'm working on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I could use your help as a friend.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what are you working on, and how can I show up for you?
Yeah.
And those conversations have been so amazing, but it's drawn me closer to what I would call my friend group.
Yeah.
Because we understand, and they're willing to call me into integrity when I slip up, or, hey, I thought you were working on this.
Yeah.
That's not going to get you there. Let's change this up. Or, hey, maybe you need to step back, take a breath, and it's beautiful. And it's hard because you don't want to call people out.
Right.
And it's hard when your friends are tough on you and tell you a truth you don't want to hear.
Right.
But when you realize it's out of love, it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's kind of like the difference between being liked or respected.
Yeah.
Right? It might hurt when someone tells you the truth, but you respect that they did it.
Yeah.
Versus, if I want to be liked, I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and if I may,
please,
just one thing with your listeners is, we have to understand that everyone's hearts and mindsets are different.
Yeah.
So for me, my energy is put into showing up for other people and serving and everything. And we have to remember that when we serve someone or give someone something, there's no contract or anything stating they need to do the same in return.
Mm-hmm.
And they may not have the same heart as you, because a lot of times people will do something for someone and we get offended when they don't return the favor or the gesture, or they're the same person. And I'm like, we're all different people.
Yeah.
What we value is different. For me, showing up to something on time, I always show up early. That's something that I value.
Yeah, you were here early today. Yeah, you're like, I'm here. I'm like, sweet.
Exactly. I have friends who show up right on time.
Yeah.
Because to them, what they value is, hey, at least I showed up.
Yeah.
And so, for me, it's like I can't get frustrated with them because we value two different things.
It's just,
and when we understand that and we get that we're all going to be different and we're all going about it different ways, I think there's a level of, well, I guess I would say we're less frustrated, or we don't get annoyed as easily when we understand that.
No, that's beautifully said. Obviously, we talked about, you exercise a lot. Fitness is a big part of your life. Why don't you tell our listeners, why is that so important to you, and how does that help your overall mental health?
Yeah, I think for me, one, the gym is an outlet for me.
Yeah.
I can get moving.
Yeah.
I can start my day. I feel better when I work out and everything.
Yeah.
Here I was in New Orleans, amazing food, jambalaya, gumbo, a lot of it's deep fried. But one of the rules I said to my friends is we're starting every day at the gym, because what we're not going to do is sit around, eat great food, and just be lazy. But the gym for me, we had to.
Yeah.
The gym for me has been, especially someone who does and has suffered from anger issues. It's been a great outlet because I can get energy out.
Yeah, right.
I can, get what I need. I can connect with many people there.
Yep.
It's a great networking place. But for me also, in terms of business, I always say, when I work with a client, my message is I'm going to take care of you. And when they see that I do that physically in my appearance, I work out, I take care of myself, it sends a message without me saying a word to them that, hey, I take care of me, which means I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And so for me, that is important, because I want, in what I do and what I say and how I carry myself, to resonate with clients.
Yeah.
And I haven't always worked out. There was a time I was like 300 pounds and super overweight.
Okay.
And so it's been a process. I still struggle tremendously with body dysmorphia. I don't feel like I'm in good shape, or this, and I miss one day and I've lost all of my gains and everything.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? We'll miss one day of workout. Man, I think I put on 10 pounds.
Exactly.
I look fat.
Exactly. And, anyone who's starting on their fitness journey, I always say is, if you go to the gym 10 minutes, 20 minutes, at least you made it. Because what we tend to do is, it's the whole New Year's resolution philosophy.
Right.
I'm going in 2 hours, and you hit, 2-3 days. Now you're sore. Now you're burnt out. Now you don't want to do it. And that's where we fall off. And so I tell people, hey, at least you made it. And there'll be some days you may drive to the gym. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Go walk on treadmill, sit in sauna, or even just go home.
Yeah.
But just the process of getting there to the door,
right,
you've already done what a lot of people don't do.
Absolutely.
And so pat yourself on the back and be okay with it's a gradual process.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how we can beat ourselves up, like looking in the mirror? I look at you, man, you look great. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
You may have missed the workout this morning, and right now in your head you're going, man, I think I put on 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm out of shape. And isn't that funny how we can do that so quickly to ourselves, but yet everyone around you is like, man, you look fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's, it's fun, always funny for me. Just a side note, whenever I go through security, I always get stopped, and they always pat down my shoulders, because they always think something's in your shirt, and I'm like, it's just my shoulders. But my last 15 trips, I have been stopped, and it's the same thing.
They're like, hey, those shoulders are too big. Something's up.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And then they always make a comment, how was the gym this morning? They always have some comment like that.
Yeah.
But it's, it's also a balancing act of don't overdo it. Because a lot of people, you can become addicted to the gym and have an unhealthy relationship with it. And so it goes back to, there's a balance in all things.
Yeah, I love that. So let's just, briefly talk about, obviously this has been a great conversation. I love this. It's been so good. You're a PR strategist. Talk about what you do for a living.
Yeah, PR is interesting because it's adapted so much over the last few years. When people look at PR, they think of a traditional newspaper, magazines, radio, TV interviews, everything. And there is a place where that plays a role. But so much of what I do is connecting people, forming relationships, and how can I add value? Who can I connect you with here?
Yeah.
Because I always say you can put anybody on a stage to speak in an event, but who is the right person for that audience that can reach them, that can resonate with them? Because if we remove, what you're trying to sell, a product, whatever the dollar amount is, how can you touch the lives and the people in your audience? Because if I can tell your story and your mission and share it with an audience and it resonates with them, now you have someone who believes in you and is invested for life.
Yeah, wow.
Not just a short part.
Sure, I like
and
that. Yeah.
So it's a lot of having conversations, getting to know people, diving in.
It's the vulnerable piece.
Yeah.
And that's why it's your superpower. That's why you do so good at your job, right? I'm connecting those dots as you're talking.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I was at Miami on last Friday at a networking event, and it was so cool to see people from Arizona and Texas and California there. And, one of the things is when I was younger, I'd show up, here's my business card, here's this. But I'm just there having conversations.
Yeah.
How's your family? How are you doing? How is business? What can I do to show up for you?
Yeah.
And how can I help you? And it's just getting to know people at the event. Yeah. And, you never know what's going to come from that. And sometimes nothing will. But you may fall in a spot where, hey, this person, hey, I met you at this thing. You seem like a really good guy.
Yeah.
I want to connect with you more. I want to do something with you.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's always about entering a room. But also, one of the things I've been blessed to is I've worked with a lot of influencers and celebrities and things. Yeah. And the first people I want to talk to is the assistant, is the person behind the scenes. Because without them, this person's life would not be able to function.
Right.
And they're the one behind all the scenes, doing all the dirty work.
Yeah.
That's the people I want to talk to, because guess what? People don't have conversations with them. They want to reach the influencer, the person they see on social media.
Yeah.
But what I try to impress on people is to reach that person, that assistant is the gatekeeper. And if you have a relationship with them, it opens the doors to anyone you want to connect. Because a lot of times they'll be like, hey, connect with my assistant. And they'll be able to schedule it or figure it out. And if you've taken time to make a relationship with them, now it's an easy conversation to have. Wow. And and it's something I've had to learn and adapt, but I love getting to know people.
Yeah, no, I can tell. That's great. And obviously that formula, if you will, works really well. And that's why you've been so successful.
Thank you.
Again, love the way you carry yourself. Love the way you show up in life in all aspects. You wear your faith on your sleeve, your heart on your sleeve.
Thank you.
That's so cool. And what I love too, what I hear in your story, going back to, you're adopted, you got, you moved to Boise, the whitest place on the planet, right? But yet you didn't play victim to it, is what I'm hearing. You didn't go, oh, this was the worst thing ever. It's not fair. It's almost like you embraced the challenge.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I am one of the few people, and, a lot of people find it crazy when they hear it, but I have been this close to people in KKK ropes. I have seen it there. And, for me, I could have gone one way, I could have gone the other. I could have remained the rest of my life angry and bitter and, woe is me and victim. And don't get me wrong, I've been stuck in that victim mode, that victimhood.
You're human.
Exactly. But I used it for my advantage. And it's one of the things I think that got me into coaching and working with youth and mentoring is I always told myself, I don't want kids to be treated the way I was treated as a kid.
Yeah.
So how can I impress on the younger generations to have a different mindset, to see a black person as a mentor in a role? I had one of the kids I coached for years, and we have a great relationship. One of the things I found out is, his mom had dated African Americans, and the experience wasn't good. And so he had a fear, or he had a trauma with them. So initially meeting me, that trauma was there and everything.
Yeah.
But being able to grow together and see the relationship, the way I carried myself, changed the way that he viewed African Americans.
Okay.
And so for me, it's just been, I guess my life calling is just mentoring, working with youth,
Yeah.
helping people. It's funny. One of the kids in our basketball group I was talking the other day, when I started the group, he was 11 years old. And so it's just such
Yeah.
a wide range of,
Yeah.
we have someone who's 47 down to, someone who's 18. And it's just, you can mentor a child, you can mentor an adult.
Yeah.
Everyone is looking for someone
For
to
sure.
learn and to lean on.
Yeah. I love that. Oh man, that's so cool. Again, congrats on all your success. Congrats on just the way you live.
Thank you.
It's really impressive.
If you don't mind, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I would love to know, you've done a ton of podcast episodes, had amazing conversations, you have your own journey, but if you could pinpoint the common theme that all of your guests, what's the common theme that you find with everyone that you interview?
That the human spirit is very strong.
I love that.
I mean, honestly, like the challenges you've had, everyone that has come on my podcast has been through something really, really difficult. And the power of the human spirit in overcoming adversity is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Like I look at these people going, you went through that and you overcame this and here you are.
Exactly.
That's been the common theme. Everyone has been through something really, really difficult.
I love that.
And to watch them get through that, it tells me how powerful the human spirit is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a great, I've never been asked that question, by the way. And that is what stands out to me. As I'm sitting here talking to you even, I just sit there and go, the power of your spirit is amazing to me.
Thank you.
And it's just, so that's probably been the common thread among all my I've done 430 something now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's probably where I would go right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
And it's, you'll hear me say this a lot, and people who have listened, you'll hear, I say this, people are astonishing. Like, I think people are astonishing.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, even the ones who are struggling, what they don't realize is they're shielding themselves from their astonishment, like to being that.
Yeah.
But I think everyone is astonishing. And I see it time and time again. You're astonishing. Like you really are.
Thank you.
And I don't know. That's where I go. That's a great question, by the way.
I love that.
Yeah. So thanks for asking.
Of course.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Okay.
If there's someone listening to you right now and they're in a really bad place in their life, they're struggling, they are in despair, but they're listening to you right now on this podcast, what would you tell that person right now?
I think the biggest thing I would tell them is that they matter, that whether they believe it or not, they add value to this world.
Mm-hmm.
They add value to the people around them, even so much as just their presence. I think we tend to be too hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And if we just realize that, hey, we're meant to be where we're at, and that, hey, we can contribute to every room that we find ourselves in. I've, sat in a room with professional athletes, millionaires, billionaires, and at first I was like, well, I'm not meant to be here. I'm not on these guys' levels.
Yeah.
But when I sat there and you just have conversations, you realize, remove the money. These are everyday people like you and me. And so each of us matter. Each of us is important. Each of us will contribute to society in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And so, look at yourself and understand, if you haven't heard anyone tell you, I'm telling you right now that you matter.
Ooh, beautiful message. Thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. If someone wants to reach out to you, Jeff, and get to know you better, follow you, learn more about what you do, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Just Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
What's your handle?
Jeffrey Mann _
Okay.
And shoot me a DM, watch the content. I'm an open book.
Yeah. And again, for those who haven't seen your Instagram, it's awesome, by the way. I love your content. And what content really is it's just you.
Yeah.
Like I love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. I love the things you put out there. I love the inspiration. I love your vulnerability on there as well. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate that. And those who are listening right now, I really am encouraging you to go follow him, check out what he's doing, and you'll be so glad that you did, because it's going to really brighten your day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if I may just add, if you're listening to this and you have a friend or a family member, or you know someone who's struggling, send them this podcast.
Yeah.
Send them this conversation.
Yeah.
Let them know that they're not alone. And, a simple text, a simple phone call, a simple link, a simple podcast could change someone's life.
Amen to that. Seriously. And I normally say that, so you took it right out of my mouth. So thank you.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, that's right. That's for sure. Well, Jeff, thank you for being here. Thank you for reaching out. I love what you do. I'm grateful that I got to sit down with you face to face. I feel like we've been friends for our whole lives, just listening to you and sitting here. And so thank you for being vulnerable, and, shout out to your parents for how they raised you and the things that they do. I think eventually we're going to get your dad on here. We'll work on that.
It'll be a great conversation.
But yeah, thanks for all you do. And we will get this out to the masses. And I know it's going to touch lives and save lives because of what you've said today.
Amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, there you go, folks. I told you today you were in for one, and this was amazing. Jeff Mann, please reach out to him. Check out his Instagram account. I'll put the link in the show notes. You'll click right to it. And please reach out to him and see what he's doing. Share your any questions you have for him. And also, like he said, please share this with your loved ones. Those who are struggling, they need to hear his story. So thank you for tuning in. Again, thanks to my sponsors. I love you guys. It means the world. And Jeff, you're the best. You have a wonderful spirit about you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care, everyone.